Hey guys, it's Robbie, and today I thought I would do a video on how you can tell if a Louis Vuitton multicolor bag is real or fake. I'm going to be using this bag to demonstrate and show you some of the things to look out for. The first thing on this Louis Vuitton multicolor bag is the bow. For some reason it's very popular to see a bow on the multicolor bags, on the fake ones, and Louis Vuitton does not put any type of bow on the multicolor bag, so that's the first thing to look out for. If you see a bow, it's definitely fake. The second pretty obvious thing is the pattern, like the monogram pattern on the bag. On this piece of material, it's very obvious to see that it's not symmetrical, whereas the material should have the monogram in perfect symmetry. You can tell that this blue LV here should be like in the center where it's off to the left a little bit, and this LV down here is partially cut off. Louis Vuitton on a standard bag, and like a bag with like a standard shape like this, will not cut off the LVs, so that is a very obvious thing to look out for as well, if the LVs are cut off. Sticking along with the pattern, there are 32 different colors on the multicolor bag. This one only has about 6 or 7, and you can see here that there's like a blue fleur-de-lis next to the blue LV, and the greens together and the pinks together. There should not be two continual colors together, and it's the same thing on the front as well. They should be alternating colors, and there should not be two fleur-de-lis patterns or an LV and a fleur-de-lis pattern with the same colors next to each other. It's hard to tell, but this is the wrong color for the tan trim and the handles. The Louis Vuitton bags are supposed to have a very light tan color trim that oxidizes until it's like a very dark brown and then to a black. And this, I don't know what color I would call this, but it's not the proper color for the trim. And it's definitely not going to oxidize whatsoever. It's somewhat of like a vinyl material as well, so it's not going to oxidize at all. And that's something to look out for. If you're buying a used one, it should be slightly oxidized if it's been used a couple times. It's a little bit hard to look at online, but you should just check if it's a used bag for quality. This bag, I've never actually used this bag. I bought it solely for this video to show you how you can tell if it's fake or not. And just from holding it like this and doing this video, the strap here is already starting to rip. And it's like, if you ever see a used Louis Vuitton bag, sometimes people have them for 10-15 years to the point where the straps have oxidized to a black color, but the straps are still in mint condition. This one is falling apart already, and it's never actually been used to the point where I've put something in here. This is just from me going like this to the bag, and from its own weight it's starting to rip and tear, and it's taking some of the stitching out with it as well. So it's not very good quality, and it's just something that you have to look out for when you're buying a Louis Vuitton bag, is to see that it's got good quality into it. And this one obviously does not at all. Something else really important with Louis Vuitton bags is with the brown trim on the sides, it should be painted a red, like a dark red, or like a deep red color. This is painted like purple, and it is a little hard to tell because it is so dark, but the red will definitely stand out on the real bags. And when you look at this, it's a little hard to tell, but it almost looks like they started to paint up onto the flat part of the strap, and then it kind of cuts off, and they start painting it again as well. The bag came with like another strap here, so you can make it into a crossbody bag. And the paint in some spots, if I hold up a white piece of paper behind it, you can see it. But the paint, it almost looks like a little white fuzz, like it almost looks like a string coming off of it. That's actually the paint, like right here. It's just flaking off really bad. The red paint is actually supposed to oxidize to a dark color along with the tan straps and lining, and this is just like peeling off. Like it's not painted very well, and the quality of the paint is very bad as well. On the inside of the bag, on like the top flat part, this piece of material here is supposed to be leather. It's like a cheap plasticky vinyl, and there's like a lot of excess vinyl here, but there really shouldn't be this much extra fabric here, to the point where it's like you can pretty much just grab it. Also on the inside tag is done fairly well on this bag, other than the fact that the bottom stitching is coming out. Otherwise, it almost seems like it could be real, but don't just go solely by the tag. On the inside of this, somewhere is supposed to be an identification code to specify where the bag was made and the month and year the bag was made, and this is lacking anything. Also, just like really quick, this bag, it's a little hard to tell, but it's actually like concave, so you lose a lot of space in it, and even if you try and open it up all the way, the sides don't really open up very well. So you're not going to get a Louis Vuitton bag that doesn't open up well, or you can't really fit your things into there because it's just badly made. Back on the outside of the bag, the lock almost seems like it could be real. Other than the fact that it's very shiny, all hardware and things like the lock and anything like that is supposed to be a heavy brass, but it almost looks real because it's engraved on one side with the Louis Vuitton logo, and on the back side it has Louis Vuitton Paris, made in France, and it perfectly matches the inside tag as well as like the little sleeve with the key inside of it. It says Louis Vuitton Paris, made in France, and they all match each other, but that still doesn't necessarily mean that it's real. Again, it's got like that dark purple lining on the tag, and like this, like the strap that's holding on the tag is coming apart and it's flaking off, and there's bits and pieces of paint on the interior of it that kind of mixed in as well. It's not very good quality, and it's probably not going to hold up very much longer. The key does somewhat look like it could be real. It almost looks like tarnished brass, but it's probably just like a cheap metal that's just been old and tarnished. I think that pretty much wraps it up, so thank you guys for watching and happy shopping. Bye!